Hi guys, how are y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful two-piece, a short skirt and a crop top. So keep watching, and if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, like, share and comment on my videos. Alright, let's get started. So starting, we are going to fold this particular skirt with our hip circumference, divide by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. That is what we're going to use to fold it. After that, we're going to mark our starting line, which is here. And after marking our starting line, I'm placing my tape on a straight line. Then I'm going to mark my hip point. After marking my hip point, I'm going to mark the full length of the skirt. So my client wants her skirt to be 1 inch above the knee, which is 24 inches for me. So I'm going to mark it down. So next thing I'm going to do is to divide my waist circumference by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. On my hip, I'm going to divide my hip circumference divide by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. Then I'll take the same measurement I have on the hip down to the full length. So guys, this time around we are not going to curve the knee part. That's at the full length of the skirt, because I would never wanted it to have a slit at the back. So I wanted the situation where she will wear the skirt, where she will wear the skirt and it's going to be free without a slit at the back. But at the ending of the video, I later added a slit and I shaped it to give her a shape. Okay, so let's continue. So this is me cutting out the skirt. That's the front piece of the skirt. What we are going to do now is to cut the back piece of the skirt. Using the front piece to cut out the back piece, I place my front piece on the back piece. Then I mark 1.5 inch allowance for the zipper allowance. This is 1.5 inch for the zip. Then I'm going to place my front piece to the line I marked and I'm going to cut out the excesses right now. Unfolding, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut the top, and I'm going to use this piece to cut the top, folding by 2 with my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. That is how I folded it. So I'm going to measure the length, which is 18 inches, 19 inches. The length of the crop top, which is this length, is 19 inches, and we are going to use the whole length here. So next, what I'm going to do is to mark my armhole point, my bust point and the waist point, which is the full length. So the starting line is my shoulder point. Okay, so what next I'm going to do is to divide my shoulder divide by 4. I will mark it down and I'm going to take it down to the chest point. My shoulder circumference divided by 2, not by 4, plus without any allowance. So after that, I'm going to divide my bust circumference divide by 4. Then I'm going to add 2 inches seam allowance to it. Then I'm going to mark my waist circumference divide by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance to it. Then I'm going to connect it down. Then I'll mark 1 inch above to make an armhole curve, just like that. Then I will mark my neck width. The wideness of my neck is 3 inches. Then the depth of my neck for the neck is 3.5 inches. Then I'll give a curve. 3.5 to 4 inches is okay. Then I'll mark my my shoulder slope, which is, if you like, you slow down by half inch. If you like, you slow down by 1 inch. I slow down by half inch here. So I'm not going to cut out the neckline first, because we are still going to cut the back piece. So I'm going to use this front piece now to cut the back piece. The difference between the front piece and the back piece is because of the zipper allowance at the back piece. So I'm going to go in by 1.5 inch, just like we did in the skirt part, and I am going to cut it out. I am going to cut the neckline by going down by 1 inch for the back, then going in by 3 inches for the wideness of the neckline, and I'm going to curve it in. That is for the back piece, and for the front piece I am going to cut out the one we did before. For the front piece, that is by 3.5-inch allowance for the depth of the neckline. So guys, we are done with the upper bodies, so let's go ahead now and cut the sleeve. For the sleeve, I marked an S shape at the beginning of the line. That's the starting point. That's where I'm cutting now, just an S shape that will be enough for my round armhole. Okay, so I made a straight line, not too straight, but an A-line shape sleeve. The sleeve is an A-line shape sleeve like this, just the way you are seeing there. The length of this sleeve is 27 inches for my client. Then I am going to fold it by 1 inch and we'll have 26 inches left. This is all we'll be needing for this particular project. So I'll go ahead now and use this particular piece, make the exact lining of it, except the sleeve. The sleeve is not going to have a lining, but the bodies, other bodies of the skirt and the top is going to have a lining. Then I'll be back to show you. Okay guys, here is the lining. After adding the lining, and I came up by 1 inch from the down part. So here is the lining of the front piece of the skirt. I have finished lining it, and for the two sides of the back piece, here they are, and I've also finished lining them. So guys, the next thing I am going to do now is to mark my zipper allowance for the back. So I'm going to place the back this way, and I will mark 1 inch inside on the line of the zip. So I'm going to come down by 7 inches to 8 inches for the zip. Then I'm going to pin it down. So after the mark that we made at the zipper area, the rest of the lines I'm going to just sew a straight line on them. That's just it. So let's go move over to the front. So for the upper bodies of the top, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to mark 1 inch in as well, 1 inch in all the way to the neckline. So I'm going to pin it down as well. That is going to be where we are going to attach our on that line. So that's one aside. I'm going to attach my zip, and it's going to look like this. For the waistband, before attaching the zip, this is how we're going to do it. I folded by 2 and I ironed it down. So I am going to sew it with 1/2 inch, and I'll pin it down. I'll pin it up. I'm making sure that I have 1/2 inch there, so that after we are done sewing everything, I will have 1.5 inch for the waistband. That's the length of the waistband, and the wideness of the waistband is 1.5 inch. That's what we're supposed to have there. So I'll sew it like this, and I'll do the same for the other side, and I will do the same for the front as well, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. So you can see the skirt, front piece of the skirt, how I did it as well. So let's move over to the top. As you can see, I've finished adding the zipper at the back, and this is what it looks like, and the lining as well. I finished lining it. So I'm going to shape the armhole, and then we add the sleeve. That's what we're going to do now. So I am doing the finishing touches, which is checking the armhole and the shoulder circumference. So I am cutting out the excesses on the armhole and on the shoulder as well, making sure they are aligned together. So next thing I'm going to do is to shape the skirt, and then we'll do the rest. So shaping the skirt, see how our waistband is. I'm going to weave that particular place to have a neat finishing. So I'm going to shape the skirt like this. I will divide my waist circumference by 4, and mine is 7. I'll mark it down. Same thing to the hip, my hip circumference by 4 without allowance, so I'll mark it. Then I'll connect the lines and also mark my hip circumference divided by 4 on the length of the skirt. That's the hemming line, and connect it like this. So we'll do the same thing for the other side as well. Okay, so placing my back piece first, and I will use the front piece to cover up. I'm going to pin it down because I'm going to use the front piece to shape the skirt. Okay, so guys, after fixing the sleeve for the upper for the top, I'm going to check my bust point to know where I'm going to add the bust point circumference divided by 2. So I'm going to check my bust circumference divided by 2 now, and I will still divide the extra allowance remaining on both sides. Then that is how to shape your gown or top. So that's it. And the waist circumference divided by 4, and the extra allowance I will still divide it to have the accurate measurement of the waist circumference. So for the top, I'm going to shape it this way on an A-line shape like this, and I will do the same for the other side, an A-line shape like this way. Then guys, I'm going to sew on it on the lines, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like after I am done doing so. So guys, this is what it looks like after I'm done doing and weaving it for knit finishing. Our project came out very nice and beautiful. This is the skirt, and this is what it looks like after weaving and everything. This is how I weaved it, and it came out so neat and beautiful. So guys, you can add a slit at the back of your skirt if it's not too short, and this is what it looks like, guys. Very beautiful. At the end of the day, it came out so beautiful, and my client loved it so much. So guys, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye.